Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil background information. We're doing the creature profile today, and thankfully we're actually at the last of my sea monsters. So no more sea monsters and river monsters getting close together and mixed up again. But we're doing the Qalupalik today, so I'll start with a brief quote from a story where they're mentioned, then I'll give you the background information, and then I'll give you their profile as a creature within the veil. So let's get into it. Hey, I don't think you ever mentioned that there was that kind of monster on the side of the good guys. Oh god, this is starting to make me question the orphanages more now. Quote from Reciprocity. When it comes to terrifying bogeymen that snatch up naughty little children, one of the most compelling and indeed scariest exists within Inuit legend. Living in dangerous territory where getting too close to the edge of flows or water could lead a child to fall in and freeze, creating a monster to prowl and hunt for the disobedient children seemed a must. This is the origins of the Qalupalik or Qallupilluit. Nice and simple, really, but remarkable and more terrifying to me than any creature that lives under the bed. The Qalupalik is described most often as a female, although occasionally some translated narratives had it as a male. The Qalupalik is said to use abducted children to keep its hair long and silky. The descriptions vary, but the common features include long hair, long fingernails, webbed fingers, green slimy skin, two flippers, and one is even supposed to create a paralyzing cry. It wears the traditional amuitak. I don't know if I'm saying that one right. The parka with a built-in pouch to carry children around, and the parka with a built-in pouch to carry children around, all the better for snatching away their prey. They are also thought to alter their appearance with a curious technique known as Pillutitamic, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong. Anyway, depending on the stories, they either devour the children a la Bogeyman style, or more disturbingly, keep them in a sort of sleep where they slowly absorb their essence to keep young. Thinking about me made me think of how spiders that live in ponds hold their prey underwater. In fact, the thought of being taken and trapped under the ice so you really have nowhere to go is seriously disturbing to me. Misbehaving children are their target, though, and it's thought they can be outsmarted, often hunters tricking it to turn into something like a whale or seal they can hunt. There are some thoughts that they might create a sound that lures in children like a siren, but the thought of a slimy green monster that snatches children is enough that if the child wasn't scared of the edge of the ice because of the freezing water, they'd behave now. Some like to think of it as like a mermaid too because of its long hair, but I didn't really find the sources stating that it was anything other than an ugly creature, and some artist depictions even give it a sort of rubbery face, half fish and half just weird. It's certainly not a pleasant creature, and it's rare in the Vale, so. Side Dark, created by demons, created for demon able to devour and harm children, created when the time of Baal. Physical description: although from behind can appear as long-haired beauties that hum nursery rhymes, they have aged eyes and slimy green skin, and a face like a shriveled famed monster with webbed hands and two flippers at the end of legs that are always close together like a seal tail, but aren't demonic enough they can change shape if challenged. Abilities: can produce a humming sound that attracts children, maintains youth through devouring children or feeding off their youth, slowly by wrapping them in their own demonically made parka that hide them under the ice. They can produce a paralysis from their hind flippers by slapping them against the edge of ice floes. However, they cannot spread their legs apart to run much on land, so are trapped to the edge of the water. Their most impressive ability is to change into other things when approached by adult humans. Most known for kidnapping naughty children. Weaknesses: it's scared of human adults, and though invulnerable in its normal state, its fear of adults mean if they suggest they're scared of something like a seal or whale, it will change and become as weak as that animal. Number: they're very rare, and though often only known in the northern hemisphere, their number is greatly reduced, and they have started to hunt in dangerous regions, making them almost endangered species. Only 1,000 are known and monitored very carefully with modern technology. Unknown beings unclear. Characters in stories: Kulu, a tamed Qalupalik that is very important for the big plot in Reciprocity. Final comments. These are creepy, scary creatures, and I hope they disturb you the way they disturb me. I'll say as briefly as I can. When I was a kid, I dropped a lolly down into a pond that was exceptionally deep. I thought I saw it sitting within reach of my hand, and on the edge was going to go onto my knees and try and pull it out. My older sister, though, jerked me up and told me it was deeper than it looked and not worth it. The thought that simple innocent moment where I felt bad for dropping something that had cost money to get could have led me to being vulnerable to any number of nasty water creatures that could snatch me into the water. Makes me nervous. I think if you consider these sorts of creatures and stories and how easily you might have done something to put you into the realm of this sort of monster as a kid, you realise just how easily any child could be savaged to get close to the edge and believe in these things. But anyway, we've finished the sea monsters now, and there's sources at the bottom. Sorry, it's not very informative. I've not. I've been trying to keep it a bit short because my voice is still recovering from being very ill. So, thank you for listening.